Radio. A live podcast sponsored by the Marin Fire History Group. All about the history of the fire service in Marin County, California. And now your host, retired Fire Chief Bill Lellis.
Good day and welcome to the Marin County Fire Chief's historical website. This program is going to be about one of the original first mechanical appliances that was used in the fire service in the United States of North America, and we call it the hose cart. The hose cart is a multifaceted unit. It has high wheels for moving down big streets and muddy streets and rutty streets. And inside, there's an independent hose load that spins independent of the wheels. So it's a very, these cost about $400 to $600 at the turn of the century, 1900. Could carry as much as 500 feet of hose, cotton jacket, rubber lined, a 50-foot roll of that hose weighed about 45 pounds times 10. So when they were pulling this, they were pulling a big load. One of the most famous things about the hose carts is throughout Marin County, fire departments would have what they called booster days. It was like a fundraiser for the volunteer fire departments from Sausalito, Mill Valley, Larkspur, San Rafael, San Anselmo, all of us. And one of the big events that thousands of people came to watch was the hose cart race. And how it went was a guy in the back with a fitting, a female fitting, and he's going to take a hydrant. The rest of the crew is going to run 300 feet, 100 yards, pulling the hose off, stop at the line, break the hose, put a nozzle on. While they're doing that, the hydrant man opens the hydrant, and as soon as they get water, they time it. And the 1909 booster in Larkspur won this in 29 seconds. And we have a trophy in a historical room. But one of the best in the county for years was Mill Valley. They really had it down. They had the same team, they practiced, and nobody could beat them for a long time. But on that given day, Larkspur won it. So and these hose carts were placed throughout the community. In Larkspur, we had one downtown, and we had a fire station, a shack, up Madrone Canyon with a hose cart and miscellaneous tools. But in the Madrone Canyon, when the creek was running high in the winter, it was quite common for the firehouse to get picked up and moved downstream. We had to go find it, bring it back, put it down. But these were first step. And the next step that goes from that you'll see in the program, I'll give you some pictures, is these came also with single and double tank chemical, like the Model T did. And that was the first step. From here to a single, double hand cart to a truck, a fire apparatus with chemical tanks on board. This came first. Then the hose cart with one or two. Our first one was 60 gallons, and then we bought a double one, and then we bought the Model T in 16, which had a double series tank.
So, Bill, what you're saying is they evolved from a simple hose cart and they converted it to chemicals?
Yeah.
So that axle set would carry a one or two cylinders.
Yes, right.
Like you showed us on the Model T.
Yes. And as I said in the Model T presentation, the chemical hose carts and the chemical fire extinguisher was so popular. In New York, Boston, Chicago, they almost didn't go to water carrying apparatus for a while. It took them a while to get their figure. Hey, no, we can buy an engine with water on it and hose. So the triple combination. But at first, they were very reluctant not to, because these things were the first mechanical, no pressure from people needed. You had water. So this is this one. This was put together by a volunteer fireman by the name of Ray Giardini, who has passed, sadly. But so that's what the hose cart was all about. Had a log tether, a nozzle, a toolbox, and as they would run down the street, they had a long rope on both sides, and they invited the public to grab hold and help pull. These things went to San Quentin, they went to the Kent estate, and they'd go any place, but it was a long run. To go to San Quentin, we had to go past Kentville. And so in those cases, they have a teamster that would come and hook it up with a horse and carry the guys in this to the fire. So that's the history of the hose cart. So on a good day, they would have a lamp on both sides.
Okay.
And then they would have a bell, because in those days it was quite common to have livestock on the road, cattle, chickens, goats, and the bell kind of put them on attention that we were coming. And I'm sure there were times we ran over a few chickens. But they had this, a toolkit, a nozzle, and spanners and so forth. So, but they were the first line from the hand bucket to the hose cart was the evolution. And here's
and this was a hose cart like this was stationed in Larkspur before the turn of the century.
Yes. And then one up the canyon, the John Canyon.